A football field in Lena turned into something very different, not for a game, but for a community gathering centered around faith. Fields of Faith brought students, athletes, coaches, and families together at Community Bank Stadium. WIFR's Miriam Niesmeyer attended the event and talked with students about what the day meant to them.
3, 2, 1.
It started with competition, but not the kind you would normally see on a football field. Across the field at Community Bank Stadium at Lena Winslow High School, students and athletes jump between games, from tug-of-war to volleyball, football, and even spike ball. But the focus here wasn't just about winning.
I think it brings not only athletes together, but it shows the community that we're all trying to do something and spread the word of Jesus through sports and anything that we can.
Hundreds of people gathered at the stadium for Fields of Faith, a nationwide effort through the Fellowship of Christian Athletes. Dozens of students came together to spread the word of Jesus Christ.
Our ultimate goal is that trophy at the end of the season, but ultimately trophies fade.
Lena Winslow head volleyball coach Sue Ament helped organize the event and says it's heartwarming to see her athletes come together and make a difference.
One thing that I can give the kids in my community is eternal salvation and knowing the Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. And these kids today are just hungry for that.
Triathlete and senior Miles Mann says Fields of Faith helps create a deeper bond.
You always say that you're a team with sports, and you're a team with sports and Jesus. It just creates a stronger friendship. Little do you know, he's with you all the time, and he plays a big role in sports and just your focus.
Lena Winslow athlete and former Northern Illinois University D1 football player Ravion Valentine spoke at the event and hopes young athletes remember there's more to life than just sports.
There's something that Christ offers, and it's himself and his death and his life and his death and his resurrection, that if they cling on to him, there'll be hope no matter whether they become the next NFL guy or the Olympian, that there's hope that goes way beyond here. And so I kind of hope that they'll be encouraged today.
In Lena, Miriam Niesmeyer, WIFR News.
Fields of Faith events take place across the country each year, and organizers say they hope they can continue to make this an annual tradition. Families